Angela again. Here we are with day two of our 31-day challenge of reading the book of Psalms during the month of May. I am so super excited about what God is doing. And let me just say this, you all have made my heart glad with day one, our introduction, our first video. There were so many responses. People called, they text, they Facebook, they inbox, they called us on Twitter, well, contacted us on Twitter, and you have made my heart glad. Well, day two really will be a recap of what we read on day one. And so let's get started. First off, we read Psalm 1. We know that if you've been following me on Facebook, you know I've already said that while it is the first one in the book, it is not the first one written. That would be Psalm 90 written by Moses. But Psalm 1 gives us an entree into what we can expect for the rest of the book. It gives us a clear demarcation, if you will, between what is good and what is evil. It tells us explicitly how we are blessed and why we are not blessed. So it starts out with this: how blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked or the ungodly. So first off, it says to us, we are blessed if we are not walking and receiving counsel or advice from those who are wicked. Who are the wicked? The wicked are those who are not following after God. And then it says that if we don't stand in the path of sinners or sit in the seat of scoffers. But here's what I really like about it. It says to us that we are to delight in and meditate on the Lord. So if we delight ourselves in him and if we meditate on his word, we are what? We are blessed. And then it says that he will make us like a tree firmly planted. So that means we will have roots. We won't be easily swayed or easily moved when life events happen. And then it tells us this, that we will yield fruit. Not just yield fruit, but we will yield fruit in our season. And I'm excited about seasons because if you yield fruit out of season, if you're like me and you like mangoes, I love mangoes. My running joke among my friends is that it was not an apple that was in the tree. It was a mango because Eve said, man, go. Hence we have mango. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Mangoes, if you eat them out of season, they are hard, they are bitter, they are not sweet. But if you get one ripe in its right season, there is no sweeter, more succulent fruit than a mango. So what you really want, you want to prosper in your season, because if you prosper too soon, you wither. If you wait too long to prosper, you don't come to the fullness of all God has intended. So he says that if you walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, that you will bear fruit in season and your leaf will not wither, and whatever you do will prosper. Now that's a promise from God. You can bank on that. It will prosper. Then he says, but the wicked are not so. So he goes on to tell us all the things about the wicked, that they're like chaff. They'll be blown away with the wind. And he says this, that the wicked will not stand in the judgment of the righteous. What does that mean? We will all be judged. The difference between the wicked and the righteous will be judged, but they will be acquitted. The wicked will be judged, but they will be convicted. And then the next psalm we read was Psalm 31. Many of you may not have read this Psalm of David. Now, we're not going to go through each of these verse by verse because we really don't have time. And people told me that you wouldn't listen past 5 minutes anyway. Well, we're already at 4, so I'm about to be over my time. That's what happens when you talk a lot. Here's what blessed me, verses 14 through 18. He says, but as for me, I trust in the Lord. My times are in your hand. So we need to recognize that no matter what happens to us, our times are in the hands of the Lord. And we need to trust him because he promises that he will deliver us from our enemies. He will deliver us from our enemies. And our times are in his hand. Then we're going to scoot on over to Psalm 61. And I know most of you have read this. And if not, you certainly heard this most famous verse, which my husband read this morning and said it almost made him run around his office. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. First, he says, from the end of the earth, I call you when my heart is faint, when my heart is overwhelmed, when my heart is heavy. I can depend on you, Lord, to lead me to the rock that is you, that is higher than I. Because why? You have been my refuge. You are my fortress. You are my strength. You are my deliverer, because I can dwell in your tent forever, and therein I will find safety. Then we go on over to Psalm 91. And we've all read Psalm 91 because we know this verse. What does it say? He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Now we know that, and that's a blessedness. But where is the secret place? Where is the shadow? The secret place is the word of the Lord. You need to hide yourself in the word so that you can abide under his shadow. Because when you get to Psalm 23, it says it's a valley of the shadow of death. But if you're hiding under the shadow and the shelter of the Lord, you will be okay. But this is what really blessed me in this psalm. Verses 14 through 16, the writer, the author shifts, the voice changes. It's no longer the psalmist, who we don't know who wrote it because it's an anonymous psalm, but the voice changed, and it's no longer the psalmist speaking, but it's the Lord speaking. And when he speaks, he gives us 9 promises in these 3 short verses. He says this: because he has loved me, I will deliver him. Because you love him, deliverance is yours. He says, I will set him securely on high because he has known my name, because he knows you know his name, security is yours. He says, he will call upon me and I will answer. If you would call on him in prayer, he promises to answer. Then he says, I will be with him in trouble. So when trouble comes your way, God is with you because he will never leave, neither will he forsake you. Then he says, not only will I rescue him, but I will honor him. I will rescue him. I'm going to set him securely on high. I'm going to rescue him from the hand of the enemy. And then I'm going to honor him. That kind of goes along with that. I'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And then verse 16, he says, and with long life, I will satisfy him. So God has promised you all of these things, and he's promised you long life, and he's going to let you see his salvation. I mean, this one, bless my soul. And then we end up with Psalm what? 121. We say it in churches all the time. We sing it. I will lift up my eyes to the hills from which comes my help. Well, here's what I want you to know. First off, it's not a definitive statement. He's saying, I will lift up my eyes to the hills. But he wants you to know that my help is not in the hills. My help comes from where? The Lord. And who is the Lord? The Lord who made the heaven and the earth. Everybody has a Lord, but only one Lord made the heaven and the earth. He would not allow your foot to slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Not only will the Lord not allow your foot to slip, he doesn't sleep, neither does he slumber. So if he's up, why are you up worrying? And then here's the thing. The Lord here's some things that he is. He's your keeper. He's your shade at his right hand. That means he covers you. He's your covering. He won't allow the sun to smite you by day or the moon by night. He will protect you from all evil. He'll keep your soul. He'll guard your going out and your coming in. And it says, from this time forth and forever. We have come to the end of our recap of day 1. God bless you for taking this journey with me. Check us out on Facebook.com at Wise Word, or on Twitter at Wise Word Live, or even on YouTube at our Wise Word Live page. And don't forget to leave us comments so we will know how you're being blessed, how the Lord is speaking, what revelation you're getting. See you on tomorrow when we will recap our reading of day 2. This little piece of hair that is shrunk up is vexing me. I'm sorry. God bless. Talk to you guys later.